We are going to be looking at the Steam release today. We're going to just be checking out some of the things on here so that we can kind of get an overview of what kind of work needs to be done on the game before they end up releasing this onto Steam. I know a lot of us are pretty excited about it, but we just kind of want to get an idea. There's a ton of information here, and we'll try to go over most of it today. That way we all can have a pretty well-grounded idea of what all is left for the devs to finish up. Also, if you guys enjoy the video, definitely subscribe. If you are wanting to learn more about Beyond All Reason, you can join our Discord page. We have a lot of people there who are willing to help new players as well. We are no longer accepting the founder role position, so you're a little bit late for that, but that doesn't mean you can't get a lot of value out of the Discord page. Definitely look at that. And then we also have a membership that we have for YouTube, and that is similar to what you would get on Twitch if you did a subscription. And it's just some basic things to be a little bit more interactive during streams. So you can also check that out. And then we also have a supporter role as a membership. If you really want to support the channel, you can donate a higher amount per month to help with just helping the channel go smoothly and supporting me as a creator. Obviously, that's something extra, and you get a special badge on Discord if you end up wanting to do that as well. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video and look at some of this information. So, overview and purpose. This page captures the features and capabilities bugs. This is just kind of an overview. Okay, priorities. So there's a couple different sections that they have, and we'll go over these here. They're priorities. A must item means that we cannot, under any circumstances, release to Steam without the item completed. A should item means that we cannot Steam release without either completing it or having a viable workaround. And everything here is, of course, subject to change. So must and should. And then there's also wants that they have as well put in here. Those are items that neither have to be nor should be, but kind of are extra flavor they would like to add to the game. Scope. Only items such as features, capabilities, bugs, general tasks, and etc. can impact the release of BAR to Steam are considered in this document. It may not necessarily contain every item that would interfere with the purpose of with the purposes of this document. For example, small tasks can be resolved quickly enough that recording them here is not worth the effort. So this is more larger things that they're working on, larger groups of materials that take a lot more effort rather than small little bug fixes. They're not so worried about putting those down here. Internationalization. So basically making the game available to the entire world in their language is kind of what they're looking at. They must finish that in order to be on Steam. So full game internationalization in at least the major European languages. German is 90% verified Spanish, 85% verified French, 90% Czech, 20%. Support for glyphs from other languages, Russia as an example. I'm sure there's probably a couple more languages they want to rough out as well. They would also like to get it in Chinese. One of the reasons for that is Chinese is one of the largest languages in the world, actually. I think it might be either second to English for spoken languages or very close to that. So it makes a lot of sense for them to have that in there as well as a should. Something they would really like to get done, but not necessarily have to. And then a want would be voice internationalization. A lot of notifications are generated by robotic speech to text and added by post processing. English voice. English still isn't fully ready. Internationalization is possible with the text to speech, text to voice, though not on par with the quality of the English voices. So that'd be cool. Every single language would be available to users at that point for speech, which is really interesting. So like when it announces bombers, not bomber side, but like airplane sided or transport sided, or your overflowing metal, all of those notifications are text to speech, but they don't really have it for international languages yet. Gameplay content. These are things that must be fixed. A seamless first play experience. The first play experience from the point the player clicks download in their Steam library to issuing the first command to their commander must be seamless. It must be error-free with 0 points of friction. From the download from site, install application, run application, connect to server, create account, find or create first game, load first game, issue first command. I don't know if anyone has had problems with these. I personally have not, as far as like getting everything running when you first download the game. I never noticed any friction points there. If you have, definitely leave a comment and we can look into some of those things. It'd just be nice to be aware of them and make sure that they have all been at least largely addressed. Single player command or single player campaign, a 2-faction storyline around 15 to 20 minutes each. So they're planning on making a campaign, and they have that in the must category. So this game will have a campaign in it before they launch it on Steam. A fully scripted tutorial mission that will be really nice, actually. So they're going to do a voice, it sounds like, for the tutorial, so that you get a chance to like learn all the basics before even jumping into the campaign. Right now the only thing they have for that is the scenarios, and those are not as intuitive. You still have to have a lot of the basics already down. And I think this will be a huge deal here as a tutorial mission, something we definitely need. All or most missions except the tutorial must be played in co-op mode with an arbitrary number of players as shared commander or multiple teams. So what they're saying, all except the tutorial. So all of the missions will end up being a co-op mission, which is interesting. That means they'll be basically flooding the game with a lot of new players who are working together to beat the campaign. I think that's really cool. I don't know how much they've actually worked on this yet, or if it's even being thought of. This is like, these sections could take like potentially full years to fix. Just these like 2 or 3, 3 or 4 points. This could take a year in and of itself. So that's, I'm not sure how much they already have done there, but this is a very hefty project that they're looking at right on its own. I mean, getting campaigns done, that's a full game essentially of content that they're trying to get out. So that is something they're going to need some help with. And if you have the ability to do coding and getting this whole thing set up so that it would work, familiar with game design, definitely contact them on their Discord page, because they would definitely love the help there. Improve AIs further, so chance of bugging, stalling, getting stuck is further reduced. As AI is very important, we need to work to make it as well as possible. There are some situations AI handles poorly, for sure. Certain times, if they go hovers, or if they go air, then sometimes they're a little bit easier to beat when they go for a certain type of unit. So and they can get a little bit wonky. I've talked to multiple people, and they've all said, hey, like, AI is hard sometimes. Like, you can, when you're trying to make AI hard, it can be really tough. But at the same time, AI is sometimes just really, really easy. It gets very stuck into a situation where it's not able to actually like push in and do anything. So there are some things that can work to improve that. Make AI work on metal maps. I think they already did that. That's why there's a check mark there. Make AI units avoid walking into lava. I haven't really noticed this too much. A little bit though. I definitely had that experience at one point. Finalize on Raptor and Scavenger game modes. Okay. Raptors is really coming together. I think they're getting close to done with that. Scavengers still has some work that they're doing. So I know that's currently being worked on now. Shoulds continue improvements to balance the whip Zekras. I'm not really familiar with what that is, but I'm sure some of you big brain people out there are, and you know how important it must be. I do not. In-game cutscenes between missions, that would be really cool. And this is where Bar has a lot of potential, is like being really cinematic. If you guys have ever zoomed in or messed around with some of the unique styles of like grabbing onto the camera and like zooming into the player, or like messed around with some of the different camera settings, you can make this game very, very interesting with just a very cinematic and like in the game feel to it. So I'm excited to see cutscenes. I think this game will really just build on cutscenes very well. Narration, obviously, that's kind of already been talked about in the internationalization with the text to speech voice, and also the single player game, and tutorial missions. Those are all going to need narration in them. Add multiple AI behaviors like turtling, defensive, balanced, easy, medium, hard. Okay, those are mostly all done. Like we already have the easy, medium, hard. And we do have the defensive. I don't know about balanced or aggressor or turtle. Improve specific gameplay options and modes and make them work. Just the raptors and scavengers again. Remake ruins and all blueprints with better balance, unique style, and ideally new and more varied model structures. Okay, interesting. I think this is okay. So they're talking about wrecks, I think. So any wrecks that fall on the ground, I think they want to do an overhaul on how they look. So that'd be cool as well. Okay, next for this is all gameplay, by the way, gameplay content. Next, they want to go. These are things that they want, so not necessarily that they are going to be able to put in before the Steam launch, but things that they would like to. The ability for players to create their own missions and scenarios using in-game tools. This would be awesome. I know there is a way to make your own scenarios now. I just think it's probably a little bit more complicated than this. But using an in-game editor would be super cool, and especially if they end up doing like a Steam workshop, we could create our own missions and potentially put them on the Steam workshop. You can download them into the game, and then have just a ever expanding group of missions. That is absolutely fantastic. So definitely really excited if they end up getting this done. I think it would add heaps to the game. The ability to share these missions and play them cooperatively with friends. Very good. Ability to play for players to create, save presets for their settings for favorite play styles so they can jump into their ideal games faster. Okay, those are definitely preferences. New game modes, fully dynamic battles, games based on a seed, or so other player teams can share and compete in their survival victories and times. Okay, interesting. So they're looking into doing a little bit more competition with the times that missions are completed and the times the scenarios are completed. That's very good because you can end up like maybe even having leaderboards on them, and that could create a ton of competition there as well. Control game modes need to be improved. Alrighty, yeah, very cool, very cool. I like that a lot. There's a lot of really good ideas in there. Graphics. Okay, musts for graphics. Investigate and decide on RLM GUI framework working first working version. I'm guessing, yeah, I'm guessing this might have something to do with the UI or the the like menus and stuff, or how the game looks like as far as the commander's options, like all the little uh options you can choose, like capture and fight and attack and all those things. I'm guessing that's part of this is work on the UI. I don't know though. Redesign the UI, rebuild UI. So yeah, they're going to do a bunch of things, probably both with the in-game menus and with just the in-battle menus. I would guess we'll be seeing some changes there in time. Improve the unfinished, unpolished UI parts from uniform styling. A lot more sound notifications, upgrades from Allison version 3 and 4 to version 5, roughly 80 to 120 notifications. So this is something actually that I had someone talk about previously in, I think, one of my videos. They were asking, are there any sound notifications for when buildings are built? And it looks like they might want to do that. They might want to add notifications here for buildings being completed, like maybe your T2 lab completed, something like that. I bet that would be something they're working on. So it's not completely finished. Like we all know, this game is in alpha, and they have so many things they want to do to it. So looking forward to this in the future. I think this will be huge. Improve, replace old legacy textures with improved ones in quality and resolution. Some new missing cursor animations as well. Okay, those are probably pretty hidden because I haven't noticed anything like that where the cursor doesn't look right, but it's, I just guess haven't been paying attention. I'm sure they have them written down somewhere of things they need to improve on. Upgrade GUI to have more characters, add more dynamic ambient soundscapes to maps. Okay, so we might be seeing more birds, maybe ocean noises, things like wind blowing, stuff like that, a little bit more dynamic and like feeling more natural. So that's really cool. I'm excited to see. The sounds are already pretty good and everything, but like having a little bit more of that ambient landscape sound would be fantastic. Design modules for use in scenarios and campaigns, kind of like a guidebook. Okay, interesting. That would be cool. So you could like flip through the pages and it'll explain different things about how to do, like how to build, how to grow, how to convert energy, how to make units, things like that. A guidebook, very, very cool. Definitely would be handy if they got that done. Clean up and upgrade some particular effects, mainly shells and unit explosions. If you've ever paused the game and look at shells, they are basically see-through and they don't quite look natural, and they look kind of a little bit silly if you really dive into them. So I totally understand what they're saying about the shell and unit explosions and everything. Like the nukes, we've all have been talking about how nukes need a little bit of a revamp, and I'm sure that they are working hard on it. The nuclear explosion, the sound's not terrible, but like the graphic for it doesn't quite, it's not quite as uh unique, I guess, as you would desire for a nuclear explosion, right? So just be expecting eventually some of that will get changed and improved upon. Find a proper universal fix for live stream stutters when recording and streaming with specific settings. Okay, I haven't noticed that too much, except for actually yesterday we had problems with our live stream. I don't know if that was specific to bar, or if that was specific to my software and my internet connection. We did end up having problems, so this could be this could be bar related. I don't know. We ended up potentially fixing it, so we will see. Anyway, and then they want to add improved overall quality to the UI with better scaling, aliasing. I always forget how to say that. Aliasing, I think. Can fix this, add subtle animations and sounds, and then easier UI configurability. Okay, so making it so that you're able to adjust some of the things in the UI, probably like more settings available to us, would be my guess. Okay, now they're going on to mapping. Must-haves for mapping. Fix a handful of maps with older tech or slightly broken parts. Things that maybe don't look as good, things that maybe have holes in the maps, or you can fall through different areas with your camera. Stuff like that would be kind of what I'm guessing. Finalize a list of bar certified maps, which ones are included in the release. Okay. Interesting. So we might end up getting some of our maps removed from us, is what it sounds like. They're going to be certified maps, and then there's going to be maps that are just like testing maps right now. Because in the alpha, we're essentially all testing the game, making, finding problems, giving input, things like that. It sounds like what they're saying is at a certain point, they're going to remove some of the maps that are less enjoyable, that are less played, and they're going to just put a bar certified group in that they feel isn't too expansive nor too limited, and then use that in the base game, which might be sad for some people because they could end up taking away some of the maps that people do like. But I guess we'll leave that up to them and see what they end up doing. No reason to cry over milk that's never been spilled. Centralize map data into bar infra to ROI. That's obviously more technical. I don't really know what that means, but someone probably does who's watching this video. And congratulations. Maybe you can explain it to us, because I have no idea. Add 10 to 20 more maps to support asymmetric play, slightly aimed at PvE co-op solo players. Okay, so that would be cool. Things like the castle map, I don't remember the name of it. Like the castle map, that's a really good one. Anything that has kind of like a feel of like protection, and then an open field where the enemies can storm in, stuff like that. Those are the types of maps they're going to be adding, which is good. I think we need more maps like that, because currently we probably only have like 5 to 7 of them, and it would be really nice to get a couple more just for the flexibility of gameplay. Also add some more free-for-all maps and metal maps. That would be awesome. We have been seeing some metal maps being added over time. It would be interesting to see metal maps added with a little bit more variety in terrain. So maybe instead of just having platforms, having like higher platforms, and like, maybe making it so that like the center is a giant hill or something, and their two sides are fighting for the center hill, or you could get very creative with metal maps. And I think we will see some of that eventually coming to light in the future. Very excited for that. I think a lot of new players really enjoy the metal maps, and I really, really personally want to see the free-for-all maps. I enjoy free-for-alls. I enjoy hosting free-for-alls, so I would love to see some more of those, because we are slightly limited by map quantity on that front. Okay, upgrade some of the maps with proper atmospheric sounds and sound effects, like fog, mist, fireflies, all sorts of stuff they want to add here. rivers, water, sound, sea sounds, sand, swirls. Okay, those are all fantastic. If they can end up getting those in, that would be epic. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Once would be a fully new civilian structures to be used as ruins or previous civilizations, outposts, and settlements. Ah, so they're talking about in the game making items kind of like what you would have in the scavengers game mode, where there are outposts and stuff that are there in the game that you can capture with your commander and then end up being able to use. Now, what would be interesting is that if that meant that they end up providing a unit that is able to capture anything. So, like, if they designed a capture unit for each faction, so like maybe some people have an invisible tank, some people have an invisible bot, some people have an invisible, well, aircraft would probably be overpowered, but you get what I mean. Like using some type of invisible unit to be able to go around and capture some of these civilian structures and use them for your own uses, that could be very interesting and maybe add an element of new strategy to the game. Like for instance, maybe putting a Ragnarok at the top of a hill in the center of the map, and everyone wants to go up and capture it, but maybe it has like a capture resistance or something. That would create a huge change in how the game is played. So something like that would be fantastic to see. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the minds of the devs. It's just something that I can dream about, right? Okay, high quality set of modules, crafted cliffs, boulders, rocky ridges, and other natural organic features for more rich maps with a higher quality design and atmosphere. Okay, yeah, these are all kind of like texturing changes that they want to do, make everything look a little bit more unique. Sometimes the cliffs look a little bit not bumpy, but like almost like sand a little bit. Even the mountainous terrain can look a little bit like that. So I would agree they do need to work on the ridges when they get a chance, but it's not an absolute thing they need to fix. Centralize all mapping objects, models, and textures to game instead of map. Okay, that's probably just having to do with like some kind of glitching where units bounce around a little bit or something. Relatively easy to use scenario toolkit already possible with the guide from Beharith. Okay. Yeah, scenario toolkit. I think they mentioned that already up here a bit. In once, yeah, create your own missions and scenarios. Very similar, kind of desire there. Engine, no GitHub blockers. Okay, I'm not as familiar with the GitHub or stuff that goes on there. I'm just not. I used to do a little bit of coding, but it's a little beyond me in my current knowledge of it, so I'm not as familiar with issues there. Find weird small bugs and with culling and grass popping. I guess they've already fixed that problem, which is great. Fix problems where changing resolution has a very noticeable buggy effect. Okay. I don't think I've tried to change resolutions during games, so I've never really noticed that problem, but I'm sure someone has. Extensive cross-platform and cross-hardware testing and validation. Per game sim load variance reduction. Better new ways to render special effects like cloaking and distortion or distort and shields. Okay, so they want to do an overhaul on what those look like, I guess. And this is all engine work, things that will adjust how the items appear based on the engine. Inclusion of volumetric lighting for maps, ambient effects, and units, weapons, and explosions. Okay, so that would just be more detailed lighting, I think, essentially. Some additional multi-threading optimizations improve unit pathing and movement, minimize pathing issues such as clumping of air units and 8-way movements for sea units. Okay, I've definitely noticed the clumping being annoying. Like you send all of your units to one location and they all land on top of each other. That's a little bit weird, a little bit awkward. So if they end up fixing that, that'd be cool. And if the planes are kind of recognized as their own unit so that they have to like move out of the way of each other, that would be more realistic and hopefully, I mean, obviously that's something that's a one and not necessarily needed. The game's still playable. It would also make anti-air a little bit less punishing as well. So that would be a nice fix. New client feature priority or feature party. Wait, parity feature parity with current lobby. I'm not really sure what that is. Okay, working on single player skirmishes. Okay, we already have skirmishes largely good in my opinion. I think the single player skirmishes are great. The only one thing they could probably add to that would be like adding a type of like presetting you could do for your skirmishes, like 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, something like that, where you can like quickly adjust the type of map that you want and the type of skirmish that you want based on just a couple settings. That could be nice, I could see. Or like solo, you could do a solo style, or you could do like a custom blank, fully customizable blank skirmish mode. I think some of that would just add to the ease of creating skirmishes, because right now you have to add AI a bunch or delete AI a bunch, and it can kind of just feel a little bit clunky versus just doing an automatic like automatically loading into the scenario, or the not the scenario but the skirmish with what you already intended. So like skirmish single player, or like skirmish blank fully custom, and then you just go boom, you pick your map, and then you pick how many AI you want or what types of AI you want, or you could, you get the idea. Anyway, that might be nice, or maybe I'm just thinking selfishly, and it's very impractical to do and very impractical for other people. So who knows? Anyway, working multiplayer battles. We largely have that. We have good multiplayer battles, unless they're talking about like I don't know. Maybe they're talking about getting it so that it has like a more of a matchmaking system. I don't know. I don't know why that's not checked off, because the multiplayer battles seem to be working in my opinion. Working scenarios, working map sections, working raid plays, working login, chat, friends, and downloads. Excuse me. We have all on occasion noticed our downloads to be glitched. That can happen. I have been noticing that it is getting better for me personally, which is nice. But every once in a while, you'll try to download a map and it just kind of glitches. So that's kind of weird. Login and chat and friends. I haven't had any issues with these. I don't know if anyone else has. If you have, definitely let me know. But the downloads has definitely been a problem on occasion. Complete interface for news, guides, tutorials, and commands. That's probably talking about the website. Or maybe they want to add some of this info into the base game. Tutorials, commands. Yeah, I could see that. Adding some sections for those particular things. Almost like having a little wiki in the game would be nice for sure, especially for new players. Basic integration with Steam, matchmaking, huge deal. This is something that would probably take a couple like months, would be my guess. Like getting this figured out is kind of important and very big. Like it's one word, but the extents of change that needs to happen is just massively out of our little pea brain comprehensions. We are we don't fully understand what this one word entails, and they don't really break it down into the details, but I guarantee you they have a very large structure of things that need to be done and improvements they would like to make as far as matchmaking. I mean, you're changing the UI, you're changing the lobby system completely, making it so that that's probably in the foreground, and you're probably going to add like a quick play, a non-competitive, a competitive. You're adding all sorts of different changes to even your multiplayer game, so that it's like you end up going into a like a wait queue, similar to what you would have with a lot of other popular games. That this matchmaking is a huge project just in itself. Tournaments, those, I mean, we kind of have structure for tournaments already, but nothing, um I don't think we have anything like rigidly set by bar yet where they're 100% sure about how it's going to work out. So probably just some roughing out on that side of things. UI for key binding customization. Okay, that would be nice, being able to change your key bindings. I'm sure everyone will rejoice when that gets implemented. Internationalization. This is kind of an all-encompassing thing. It seems like internationalization, that was all the way up at the top, one of the very first ones. If I can grab this, there we go. Internationalization got two very wonderful entries here. And then integrate superbly well with Steam. Okay, so just very smooth integrations. Middleware server. Okay, must Tachyon protocol, multiplayer or matchmaking and finding, user documentation, no GitHub blockers, moving player facing system to user client. These are all kind of like interworking issues that they really know what they're talking about, and I have no idea. A community polling system is a want that they have. Definitely think that'd be cool. Achievement systems, that would be cool as well. Okay. Contributor documentation, yeah, all sorts of really neat stuff. Anyway, so that's like the end of it, guys. There's a lot here, and obviously it's going to be like a 40-minute video, so pretty crazy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and that maybe this gives a little bit of a better perspective on what is left to do for Bar as far as getting this launched on Steam. I know we're all really excited about it. We're all really excited to be able to show our friends a game that's been put on Steam and is roughed out completely and is no longer stuck in alpha, right? And I think that'll also bring a lot of new players in once a lot of these some minor issues get fixed. And the matchmaking's the one I'm really excited about personally. I think that'll be huge. It'll add a depth to the game and really make people really get addicted to it, in my opinion. It'll just be fantastic. So hopefully you enjoyed watching. If you did, definitely like the video, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And then also, if you want to help with any of these projects, you can go over to the official Beyond All Reason Discord page. They will have some submissions to volunteer help. All of this is done voluntarily, to my knowledge anyway. And so if you want to work on the game and getting some of these projects done, maybe you're good at Chinese, maybe you know Russian and English and all these different languages, you can go into the Bar Discord page and offer your assistance to some of these fine developers who are working tirelessly on getting this game finished for us, and so that we can just share our passion with those around us. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I will see you on the battlefield.